how did how the pandemic hit you guys? I mean, what do you expect, and what was the reality of it?
Well, we didn't know what to expect.
Yeah, I guess
nobody
did. Yeah.
We did scramble around right at the beginning. Basically the day everything shut down. You know, our sales rep came in. Marcio sat down with me and Alexander, who's my wife and CEO of the company, and we started brainstorming. And so we shot some videos, and we got online, and we got we got some press from it, and we got some heat from it as well.
Okay.
Really?
Because we started like pretending we were doing curbside pickup, you know, like not coming into the building.
Yeah.
and stuff
Yeah,
like
yeah.
this. But curbside pickup's not necessarily allowed by
Yeah.
the DABC, and people thought we were really doing that.
Yeah.
And they call the DABC. The DABC gets all bent out of shape, comes over here, and we're like,
You're like,
"No,
we're
no,
just
no."
kidding. It was just-
Yeah, we're just trying to have some press here. We got good press, but
Yeah.
We did the curbside. We did in the car, deliver inside of our loading.
well, no,
dock.
the videos that we were doing were like
Yeah,
out on
yeah.
the street pretending.
So it looked like it was.
Yeah,
Looked like, yeah,
and
yeah.
it was us doing the video.
Yeah,
it wasn't
you-
like us.
It was me in the car.
Yeah, so we were
Kurt delivered
yeah.
here.
So anyway, the DABC came over, and after they got wind of this, and some people complained about it, and we talked to them and said, look, this is what we want to do, and they were great to work with, right? They said, this is what you can do, this is what you can't do. We got creative, and what we ended up doing was we ended up setting up our tents, our festival tents, out in our loading dock at 2:00 in every afternoon, and then had the girls out there taking orders, and they would run back inside, and the guys too.
Oh, there you go.
Run back inside, grab it, fill, and then bring it out to them. And if they didn't feel comfortable, then what they could do is pull up into the loading dock with their car. We could take their order, go back into the brewery. They could pay for it. We go back into the brewery, get it, and then load it in the truck for them.
Because they're
And then
in the loading
And
dock. So
what's awesome is because you guys decided to just do something abnormal and just made the video that wasn't even against the rules or whatever, it pushed that to make it a conversation.
Yeah, exactly.
And to make, okay, well, what can they do? What can we do to make this work?
Yeah.
And if you guys hadn't done that, I mean, I would imagine there's other breweries now that basically copied exactly what you guys
No
did.
doubt
or
about
whatever,
it.
You know,
I'm
and just
sure.
like, hey, well,
And-
why not?
Yeah, and what we told people too, you know, instead of complaining about us doing this and getting away with something that we're allowed to do now,
Yeah.
we'll teach you how to do this, right? We'll help you through the process.
Yeah.
And so other breweries have
That's awesome.
called and said, hey, how are you guys getting around this? What are you doing? Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And I said, well, this is what we were told. This is what they allow us to do. And then so they started to do that kind of thing as well. So, it's not like we wanted to try to hide anything and keep people from, knowing what we were doing. We're just trying to figure out, hey, what can we do to be able to get people through the door when the tap room is now closed?
Yeah.
Now we've lost that business. The bars and restaurants are closed, so we lost the wholesale business, on-premise
Yeah.
business.
Ooh.
So basically
That's a big
overnight,
hit.
we lost 2/3 of our business overnight.
And you're just trying to figure out how to stay alive.
Yeah,
Wow,
exactly.
that-
So now we've got our grocery store distribution business.
Yep.
And that literally everybody didn't know what to do. So that kind of actually we saw drops there, even
Yeah.
though it was off premise being sold. The liquor stores all closed down, had lines, so you couldn't get in. So not as many people were getting in. So
I remember that, yeah.
even though we were still in the grocery stores and the liquor stores, all that business dropped as well.
Yeah.
I mean, what a hit.
And so now we're like, okay, if we're going to be able to pay our bills, keep the lights on, because the overhead is not cheap to run this business.
Oh, yeah.
You've got the banks certainly didn't be like, okay, it's COVID.
Yeah.
We're not
Time out, put it on pause.
Right? They
Yeah.
don't do that.
No,
stuff,
hell no,
Right?
no.
Luckily, the CARES Act came through, and the SBA. We have some SBA loans, and the SBA, took care of some of those, which really helped us out during that time.
Oh, it's good to hear.
But that was about it.
Yeah.
And then ultimately we're like, okay, now what do we have to do to replace, 2/3 of our revenue by selling basically beer to go direct?
Right.
We lost all that margin where we're over the counter is a lot higher than beer to go.
Oh, without
Right.
a doubt, yeah.
So our margin took a hit, and now we're like, oh crap, now we, what else could happen?
Yeah, you're just waiting for the
Right.
next chip to
So
fall.
the next chip that falls is now we have an aluminum can shortage, and you can't get cans.
Oh, because of the production, because all the production
Because
plants are shut
everybody
down.
switched to packaging.
Yeah.
You have was almost 8,000 brewers in US, only 2,000 package. When the COVID hits, everybody has to sell beers direct to the public. So
Yeah.
every single brewery bought the first canning machine they could put on,
Yeah.
bought all the cans they could do and start packaging.
Yeah, so about 10% of the marketplace pre-COVID was in bars and restaurants. 10% of the market shifted to now being canned beer,
Yeah.
right? Basically.
And what
Or
a
bottled
huge
beer.
number.
It's a huge
Huge
number.
number.
10% of the market, 10% of the beer literally left the draft beer market and went
Yeah.
into cans.
Yeah.
And the can manufacturers were already stretched before it even hit 10%. And then once that 10% hit, it was just like lights out. We just don't
Plus-
have enough cans to be able to handle.
And you
the
know, that's
flood.
not even something you necessarily think about when you think about. You just think about, you know, the selling of it and everything, but getting the materials to even like keep it going. That's wild.
But Mexico have to close most of the production of every single production facility in Mexico has to stop for a while. So can production, it's big, probably 10 to 15% of the whole cans in the U.S. It's come from Mexico.
Oh wow.
So imagine all this being added to the account when
Yeah.
shortage in all the plants, all the aluminum plants has probably reduced capacity of production because it has to reduce the amount of people working.
Yeah.
So all this at the same time.
Yeah, no, it's a domino effect.
Yeah.
That just took rippled through the whole system, and ultimately there's been consolidation over the years, and there's only basically two major can manufacturers in the world at this point.
Right.
You know, and
What a market for them.
yeah, right. And so that also is a problem because that stretches supply chain because there aren't multiple manufacturers. There's really
Yeah.
only two. If they're impacted, then it impacts the entire world.
Yeah.
And so, you know, that's happened, and then so we're like, okay, we're scrambling around trying to find cans. Our lead times went from 3 to 5 weeks on deliveries. Now we're at 10 to 12 weeks on deliveries.
If you can make it,
And
if you
if-
can get it.
And if you
Yeah.
can get it, and then so we've had to take cans that are printed or in labels and strip sleeves off of them, reuse them,
Yeah.
and take
You gotta
printed
do what you
cans
gotta
and
do.
wrap
Yeah.
labels around them so they don't look great. But what can you do?
Yeah.
And we, customers come in, we explain to them, hey, this is what's going on. Sorry, it doesn't
Yeah.
look awesome, but
Yeah.
the beer inside.
I promise it's going to be good. Yeah.
Some-
Yeah.
some-